There's a huge shift in consciousness happening right now. What kind of things have you seen changing lately?
Well, I think the better question is what's not changing lately. I think people from being in 7-year relationships to even marriages, getting divorced, to people in their jobs, quitting their jobs, people in businesses, like literally dissolving companies and forming new companies. Everything's happening right now. And the thing is this, some people are aware of it, some people are totally unaware of it. However, it's still happening to them because that shift is here whether we like it or not.
Why do you think everything's shifting? Why do you think all this stuff's coming up to the surface now? What's happening?
I believe that it's always been going this way. This shift of consciousness, or this shift of awareness of how things are meant to be, or how things were always supposed to be. And I always say that, everything that happens for a reason. And everything that's happened so far has also happened for a reason, whether that be chaos or whether that be, real bad experiences in the past, which I don't actually call bad experiences because it's all there to connect the dots leading forward. And that is the shift of humanity, the shift of, the way the universe is going right now. That's how it's supposed to be.
I did this 10-day Vipassana silent meditation retreat, and they teach you this concept, which is called anicca, which basically means everything is changing. Every cell in our body, every second is changing. But it feels like now everything's just speeding up. It's like all changing so quickly.
It will continue to speed up. It will continue to get faster and faster and faster. And in fact, it gets so fast to a point where time doesn't actually exist anymore. And a lot of people who are conscious in that way and aware in that way understands that time doesn't exist. For example, the last 2 weeks have been explosive in my journey. And if I look back at the 2 weeks, it feels like it's been 4 years already, But the 4 years seem to have snapped by very, very quickly. So it's happening with a lot of people. And this is the thing. Some people, they're aware that there's this shift happening right now. So they're talking about it. Some people are hearing about it, but they're kind of like, this is too much, This is not the logical mind, and there's not a logical explanation behind it. So, what does this all mean? And I think people are just confused. But like I said, it's happening, and it's happening now.
I can't believe I only met you just over a year ago, because it feels like it was 10 years. And I know when I met you, I was that very logical person. My background's in physics and science, and I didn't believe in any of this consciousness stuff. And now it's like all I talk about all the time is this shift. Have you noticed that with the other people that you've been working with as well?
I've been noticing that the people, everybody's going along this journey, whether they like it or not. They might be a very logical-minded person, and I always say this at my events. I say, you could be the most logical person out there, but most of their decisions are based on their emotions, is based on that gut feeling, right? That gut instinct. And then the question is, if you are so logical, then why do you base most of your relationship decisions, what you're going to eat today, where you're going to go today, why do you base it on emotion? It's because there's something, that intuition, that power, that strength, that force, which is actually way beyond what our mind can actually conceive or actually even understand,
Something I really loved about you the first time I saw you is you took these very abstract, spiritual concepts, and you made them very logical and very scientific and easy to accept. How do you do that? How do you package them up in that kind of way?
I think it's like this. I mean, it's fair enough, everybody getting into this whole spiritual world and saying, hey, let's go out there, take our socks and shoes off, and let's stand on grass, draw the energy into the body. And, it's great doing that. But the thing that we have to face is that today we live in a money world. Right? We need money. People can say money isn't important, but I always challenge people like that. And I say, if money isn't important, then donate it all towards charity. And if they can't do that, there's a reason behind it. And that reason may be that money is important. And so if we live in a money world, the question is, how do we take that forever spirituality preaching that's been going on for so many years now? How do we take that, but how do we adapt it to modern day? This modern day world or this modern day society. And those people who say money isn't that important, again, they didn't eat lunch today, they didn't eat dinner today without money, everything. And so the question is really this: how can you still go out there to serve? How can you be kind? How can you still practice and be aligned with yourself? But at the same time, how can you play this money game well? And I think this is how I've managed to take these concepts, which are not my concepts at all. I say, everything that I talk about is way beyond me. These are certain things that come in from somewhere else, you know, and certain people will think, well, no, it isn't. You formed it, you thought about it, it's from your brain. But where does your brain come from? Where do you come from? And where are you to think about this stuff? And that's what I'm saying. The information that everybody's downloading and channeling right now, whether they like it or not, and that might be very abstract for some people in terms of language, but it's happening right now, and it's happening at a faster pace than has ever happened before. And it's just a matter of time where the whole planet will be more conscious and understanding exactly how things work around them.
Something we talk about a lot is about energy, and really that energy is literally everything. Money is energy, the people around you is energy, you attract them by the energy that you put out there. For someone who's kind of just going through these changes now and they're waking up and they're shifting, what do you suggest for them? How do they get a grip on this energy thing?
It's funny you say that, get a grip of this energy thing. It's almost like control this energy, or have control of surrounding or what's about to happen. And the moment you try to control something, it kind of repels, you know? So I think the best way to actually look at it is not to actually get a grip of it, is actually how to let go of even just the logical mind trying to process this information. And what does this mean? It means, okay, your mind is there to protect you, and we need to establish that a lot of the things we think about every logical decision we make is not in fact our logical decision. Because who are we to have an idea what is right or what is wrong? We only know what is right or what is wrong based on our experiences, based on our upbringing, based on society. So how do you know that what you think is right in a logical sense is right, or wrong is wrong? We don't know, because this is purely based on what we've been taught and what we've seen through our life so far. But what's the most powerful force is not the logical mind, is that of that instinct, that of that feeling, that gut feeling, or even that good feeling. And so when we feel that we want to do something, and if we could just take that action, do it. And then the next process of it is to trust. What does this mean? It means to trust that everything will pan out exactly the way it's supposed to be. Does that mean you're going to get, like, for example, you want to make $1 million. Yes, I'm going to make it tomorrow. Does that mean that's going to happen? No, it doesn't, right? Does this mean that nothing will go unexpected? No, it doesn't. But even at this point, even if you expect something, it doesn't matter what it is, and you try to control it, you can't determine what's going to happen the next moment. But what's magical is this: the moment you're able just to let go and just flow with everything exactly the way it is. So challenges come in your life, whether it be in business, whether it be in relationships, it's supposed to be that. Accept. Just be grateful that you're even alive, right? Go with that positive advantage, and then everything just pans out and unfolds. Before you even know it, you're at that destination, whatever that destination may be to you, right? You're at that destination, you're looking back and you're thinking, you know, what on earth happened over the last 8 months, or what on earth happened over the last 2 years, right? It's crazy, but we have to learn to surrender and allow to that greater force that is way beyond us.
Surrendering and letting go was one of the hardest things I possibly did last year, because it sounds simple, right? And it is. It happens in a second, but it's also the hardest thing to do, especially when you've grown up to be told to work hard and try for things and grind and push and all this is kind of the mentality, right? The old paradigm, the old consciousness. So what do you think the new way of looking at things should be? How should entrepreneurs, how should anybody start moving forward with this stuff?
This is never going to be an easy transition. When we talk about this shift, it's never going to be an easy transition for a lot of people, because some people, yes, they've been preparing themselves and they're ready for that shift. Some people, they are totally unaware, and it's just hitting them all of a sudden. So that moment when it hits you, when you need to be at peace with everybody, when you need to learn to love instead of hate, when you're in business, stop thinking about competition, but more think about collaboration and how everybody can just work together and make it win-win for everybody. The moment people start doing that and practicing that, I believe this journey is an ongoing practice. It's not one of those things where it's like, okay, listen to this interview and boom, we got it, right? We've shifted. I think it's more to do with getting that, practicing being kind, practicing loving instead of hating, practicing positivity instead of negativity. And these little acts of practicing starts shifting, you start changing. And what's interesting is this: the more we shift within ourselves, the more our surrounding, our outer world starts shifting. And then, therefore, it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and then we go to exactly the place we're supposed to be.
One of the biggest shifts I've seen since I've met you is in the community and the people that we attract. And having these people around you who are going through the same kind of thing has been such a benefit for me. If you're going to leave the audience with one thing, the people watching with one thing, Eric, what would your one thing be?
Learn to love. I believe that, if we talk about energy and frequencies, a lot of people say, joy is the greatest frequency, which it is, but with love also comes joy. And so I think just learn to love, stop hating, learn oneness, learn to be one with each other, learn to look after each other, learn to be kind, learn to the power of the smile, just smile when you see people, give them a hug when you see people, learn to be okay to receive love, and learn to be okay with giving love. And if everyone could do that, it doesn't matter within business, in relationships, in any part of your life, the shift will be happening and it will be taking place. Go out there, do good, serve the world.